Most men never design the next 5 years of their life. They just arrive. Same income band, same flat, same half-serious relationships, and same name that doesn't carry much weight. If nothing essential changes, who will you be in 5 years? In your money, in your relationships, in your reputation? Would you respect that man? If your stomach drops even slightly when you picture it, this is the film you watch before you redraw the next 5 years. You're watching The Virtuous Man, where I train ambitious men in character, identity, and self-mastery, and help them architect the lives they actually want to inhabit. This is not a vision board video. This is closer to how serious men quietly think about their next 5 years, and how I work with men inside my academy. Take 10 seconds, project your life forward 5 years if you change nothing essential. Same way of working, same way of spending, same way of dating, same way of wasting time. Ask yourself, in money, would you still be getting by? In relationships, would you still be repeating the same patterns? In status, would serious people even have a clear opinion of you? If your honest answer is no, that's not good enough. That's not fate, that's architecture, and you can change it. In the next 10 minutes, I want to show you how serious men think in 3 to 5 year arcs across money, relationships, and reputation. Help you choose a direction, a clear mission, or a meaningful trajectory if the exact form isn't clear yet. Give you a simple starting blueprint, the same foundation I use with men in my academy, so your identity and your goals finally point at the same outcomes. If you're content drifting into a slightly upgraded version of your current life, this will seem excessive. If that thought quietly bothers you, stay with me. If you change nothing important, your next 5 years will look very familiar. Money first. You earn a bit more, your title changes, but you're still trading time for money. Still exposed, no serious assets, no leverage, no real freedom. Then relationships. A few more flings, maybe a relationship, but the pattern is the same. Either alone with more distraction, or with someone who doesn't truly respect you. Then status. You post more, you have more memories, but when your name comes up in a serious room, there's no particular weight behind it. Psychology has a simple word for this: inertia. The brain repeats familiar loops. Without deliberate architecture, your life runs on default, not design. Most men drift into a future where their money, relationships, and reputation never catch up to their potential. Not because they couldn't, because they never sat down to draw something better. When I work with men inside The Virtuous Man, we don't start with hacks or motivation. We start with how serious men actually think. Men who build something. Founders, senior partners, operators, men from strong families tend to share these 3 habits of mind. First, they think in multi-year arcs. 5 years is not someday, it's a concrete phase of life. Enough time to completely change your position in the world if you live it on purpose. Second, they design around 3 outcomes: money and work, relationships and family, status, reputation, legacy. Not in isolation, together. Third, they anchor everything in identity. They don't just say, I want 7 figures, or I want a great marriage. They ask, what kind of man is standing there in 5 years? What does he tolerate? How does he act? What does he refuse to be? Then they start living like that man now, in small ways. My job for men who come into the academy is to strip away that friction, to find out what truly matters to them and build a 3 to 5 year architecture around it, so the outcomes feel like the natural consequences of who they're becoming. You're getting a glimpse of that here. The real depth belongs in a room where it can be tailored to you. Not every man has a perfect headline for his life. You don't need one. There are 2 legitimate ways in. Path 1, the specific mission. Some of you already know, I want to be partner by 35. I want to operate in that field, in that city. In that case, the work is to reverse engineer. If that is your life in 5 years, what must be true in 3? What must be true in 12 months? Who must you be by then? Inside the academy, we break this down in detail. Here, you just need to understand you can work backwards from the life you'd respect, instead of drifting forward into the one you won't. Path 2, the meaning-driven direction. Others of you don't have a neat picture yet. You just know that you cannot stay where you are. In that case, stop obsessing over finding your purpose. Instead, commit to a meaningful direction. That means work that actually matters to you, even if the job title changes. Relationships that raise your standard, not lower it. Daily behavior that leaves yourself more proud of yourself at the end of the week, not less. Some of the strongest men I know didn't have a slogan for their life at 25. What they did have was clear. This is the kind of life I refuse to live. And this is the kind of life that I'm training myself to become, even if I adjust the details as I go. A 5-year architecture is not a prison. It's a direction you refine as reality gives you feedback. Let's name the outcomes clearly. Wealth and work. Not just more cash, the ability to provide, to choose, to walk away from what insults your standards. A career or a business that compounds instead of just paying rent. Relationships and love. Not simply having someone. Being a man, a woman of quality is proud to attach her life to. A home life that steadies you instead of bleeding you. Status and reputation. How your name is spoken when you're not in the room. Solid, reliable, dangerous in the right ways, or nothing at all. Most men chase these in fragments. Serious men design them together. That's what this work is for. If you actually had the money, relationship, and reputation you want in 5 years, what kind of man would you have to be? Not what you would own, who you would be. How disciplined, how reliable, how composed, how dangerous with the right problems, how restrained with the wrong temptations. With the men in my programs, we don't take large goals onto a small identity. We enlarge the man so the goals stop feeling like a fantasy and start feeling like the next logical step. Identity means your real standards, what you believe you're allowed to have, the kind of man you quietly refuse to be. That's when outcomes start to look inevitable from the outside. None of this is new. In classical thought, a man's life had a telos, an aim. Honor wasn't just what he felt, it's what he built over time. Later European writers spoke of a well-ordered life. Work, home, reputation, inner life, shaped around something higher than comfort. Throughout history, thinkers and writers have just rephrased the same realities. Do you see yourself as someone who's responsible for your trajectory, or someone life happens to? Do you commit to difficult, meaningful, long-term projects, or do you live on short-term hits? Everything I do inside the Virtuous Man is about this. Not just better habits, but taking responsibility for the story your life will be telling in 5 years' time. I'm not going to walk you through the full architecture process I use inside the academy. That belongs in a smaller room. But if you want a taste, start here. Number 1, the 5-year mirror page. Tonight, write down where you'll be in 5 years if nothing important changes. Then write one short paragraph on where you actually intend to be. Look at that once a day, let it bother you. Number 2, one priority, one cut. Choose one pillar to elevate over the next 90 days. Money, relationships, or reputation. Choose one distraction to cut or severely limit. Make that trade explicit. 3, weekly architecture check. Take 10 minutes at the end of every week and ask, did I live like the man I'm aiming to be? What is one small adjustment that I can make that keeps me aimed at that 5-year life? That's it. This is surface level compared with what we build inside the academy. But if you actually do these 3 things, you'll already be living differently than most men around you. So, if you change nothing essential, who will you be in 5 years? In money, in love, in reputation? And are you willing to meet that man? You don't need the right background to change that answer. You need standards and practice. Start with the 3 exercises from this film. If you want to go further into discipline, structure, and life architecture, and into the wider work of becoming a man of excellence, you can go deeper in 2 ways. Watch the other films here on character, identity, and self-mastery. and download the free Virtuous Man reading list and start training the mind that will be steering your next 5 years. The link is in the description. Most men will drift into the next 5 years on autopilot. If you're still here, you're probably not meant to be one of them. My job is to make sure you don't waste that potential. I'll see you in the next one.